Damn, you did, bro.
Y'all, his bitches is mad. His bitches is mad. His bitches is mad because he went big motherfucking ye. Fuck y'all hoes. You want him? Come get him, bitch.
Look, I don't mind giving people rides or anything, but if you want to go and take a ride with me, you better damn well have some gas money.
Tells us that suspect Adelin Itongwa actually attended Ramiah's funeral and in her view has been trying to garner sympathy for others. Ramiah's sister Mariah says that she now sees this as all some sort of cover.
I felt angry because, like I said, you knew what you did, and for you to reach out, it's like, what are you trying to cover? You thought that you were going to get away with killing my sister.
A young mother with dreams, a life full of love, but in just one night, it all ended. The person who took her life did not run. He stayed. He cried. He hugged her family. He played the role of a heartbroken father, but it was all a lie. How could someone who claimed to love her do something so evil? And how did he almost get away with it? Ramiah Remy Griffin was just 20 years old. She was a mother. She had a future. But in the early hours of February 9th, 2024, someone ended her life. She was found inside her apartment. She had been shot 12 times. The shots echoed through the night, but no one knew what had happened until morning. Her 1-year-old daughter was in another room. She was alive. She had no idea that her mother was gone forever. Police arrived quickly. They searched the home. They asked questions. Who could have done this? Was it a stranger? A break-in? Or was it someone she knew? At first, police had no clear suspect. There was no forced entry. Nothing was stolen. This was not a robbery. Then they looked closer. They started with the person closest to Remy, her boyfriend, Adelin Itongwa. He was a father of her child. He should have been grieving, but something felt off. Adelin showed up at the funeral. He hugged Remy's family. He cried. He said he missed her, but police noticed strange things. His story did not add up. His emotions seemed forced. They asked him questions. His answers were not clear. Then police found evidence. Phone records. Adelin and Remy had argued before she died. Forensics. The gun used matched one connected to Adelin. Witness reports. Neighbors heard noises that night. Police put the pieces together. It was not a break-in. It was not random. It was personal. Adelin Itongwa was arrested. The case went to court. The truth was revealed. Prosecutors said Adelin was angry. He and Remy had problems. He planned this. Defense said maybe it was not him. Maybe someone else did it. But the evidence was clear. The jury listened. The judge spoke. The verdict was read. Adelin Itongwa was guilty. Remy is gone. Her daughter will grow up without her mother. Her family will never be the same. Her community will never forget. This is a warning. Sometimes, danger comes from those we trust. Ramiah Remy Griffin was a mother, a daughter, a friend. She deserved better. Many of you enjoy our true crime stories, but haven't subscribed yet. If you find our content engaging and insightful, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support not only encourages us, but also helps spread awareness and make a difference in people's lives. Before we begin, drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? What are your thoughts as this story unfolds? Because your voice matters. These are real lives, real tragedies, and real lessons that we can't afford to ignore. Welcome to True Crime Tales, where we uncover stories that lurk in the shadows, the crimes that shake communities, the betrayals no one saw coming, and the horrifying truths hidden behind closed doors. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss the twists, the revelations, and the chilling reality of the cases we bring to you every day. Now let's begin. Ramiah Remy Griffin was a young woman with a bright future. She was born and raised in Pennsylvania, in a loving home. Her parents cared for her deeply, and she had siblings who looked up to her. Remy was known for her kindness, hard work, and positive attitude. She always put others before herself. Her family was very close. They did many things together, like eating dinner, celebrating birthdays, and spending holidays as a family. Remy's parents taught her good values, and she carried those lessons with her as she grew older. Remy was a caring sister. She loved playing with her siblings and making them laugh. She helped them with schoolwork and gave them advice when they needed it. She wanted the best for everyone in her family. As she grew up, Remy worked hard to build a good life. She had dreams of success. She wanted to create a future where she could be happy and provide for her loved ones. She was determined and focused. Remy was bright, hardworking, and kind-hearted. She was the type of person who would help a friend in need without hesitation. People admired her because she never gave up, even when things got tough. She had big dreams. She wanted to start her own business one day. She also wanted to be a great mother and give her child a beautiful life. She worked hard to turn these dreams into reality. Remy was also active on social media. She shared pictures of her daily life, her happy moments, and her thoughts. People who followed her could see that she was a joyful and caring person. She wanted to inspire others by showing them that no matter what challenges they faced, they could overcome them. One day, Remy met a man named Adelin Itongwa. At first, everything seemed perfect. He was charming, kind, and very attentive. He made her feel special. Their relationship moved quickly. They spent a lot of time together, and Remy believed she had found someone who truly cared about her. At first, they were happy. They went on dates, shared laughs, and made memories. Adelin told Remy that he loved her, and she believed him. She thought they had a bright future together. Soon, Remy became pregnant. She was going to have a baby. She was nervous, but also excited. She wanted to be the best mother she could be. She hoped that Adelin would support her and their child. For a while, Adelin seemed excited too. He promised to take care of Remy and their daughter. He told her they would be a family. But as time went on, things started to change. At first, their relationship seemed fine. But little by little, things became different. Adelin started to show signs of control. He wanted to know where Remy was at all times. If she went out with friends or spent time with family, he would get upset. He didn't like when she made decisions on her own. He also became jealous. If Remy talked to another man, even in a friendly way, Adelin would get angry. He didn't want her to have conversations with other people without his approval. Remy's family and friends noticed that she and Adelin argued more often. They saw changes in her. Sometimes, she seemed sad or distant. When they asked if she was okay, she would say everything was fine. But her loved ones worried. They saw the warning signs. They saw how Adelin acted, and they didn't like it. Some of Remy's friends asked if she felt safe. They wanted to help her if she needed it. But Remy never spoke much about her problems. Maybe she believed things would get better. Maybe she thought Adelin would change. But he didn't. Things only got worse. Remy was a strong woman. She loved her daughter more than anything in the world. She worked hard to provide for her child, even when things were difficult. She never gave up, but no one knew what would happen next. No one knew that her life would be taken away in such a terrible way. Ramiah Remy Griffin woke up early that morning. She had a routine. She was a mother to a 1-year-old baby girl, and her day was always busy. She took care of her daughter, cleaned her home, and prepared breakfast. That day, Remy talked to a few friends. She sent text messages and shared some posts online. People who spoke to her said she was in a normal mood. She did not sound scared or worried. She was just being herself. She had been in a relationship with Adelin Itongwa, the father of her child. Their relationship had ups and downs, just like many others. Some friends knew they argued sometimes, but no one expected anything bad to happen. Remy had dreams. She wanted to build a better life for herself and her daughter. She was working hard, planning for the future, but she did not know that this would be her last day alive. As the sun went down, everything seemed normal, but inside Remy's home, things were different. Sometime that evening, Adelin Itongwa came over. He and Remy started talking. Maybe it was a small conversation at first, but it soon turned into something more serious. They started arguing. Nobody knows exactly what they argued about. Maybe it was about their child. Maybe it was about their relationship. But the argument got worse. Adelin got angry. He pulled out a gun. Remy did not have time to react. Before she could run, before she could scream for help, he fired the gun. One shot, then another. He did not stop. He kept shooting. 12 bullets hit Remy's body. She fell to the ground. She was not moving. She was not breathing. Just a few rooms away, her baby girl was there. She did not know what was happening. She did not see it, but she was alone now. The house became silent. Remy was gone. Adelin did not stay. He did not call for help. He did not check on his daughter. Instead, he left the house. Nobody knows what was going through his mind. Did he think he would get away with it? Did he feel any guilt? Nobody knows. The next morning, someone came to the house. Maybe they knocked on the door. Maybe they called her phone. But there was no answer. Then someone went inside. They found Remy. She was lying there, cold and lifeless. Blood covered the floor. She had been shot 12 times. The baby was still in the house. She had spent the night alone. Panic, shock, disbelief. A call was made to 911. Ramiah Remy Griffin was found dead in her home. She had been shot 12 times. Her baby girl was in the house, but was not hurt. The police had to find out who did this and why. When police arrived, they saw no signs of a break-in. The door was closed and nothing seemed stolen. This made them think that Remy knew the person who killed her. They started asking questions. Did Remy have any enemies? Was she scared of someone? Did she have any fights recently? At first, police thought it could have been a random crime, but nothing was taken from the house. The only thing missing was Remy's phone. They asked neighbors if they heard gunshots. Some said they heard loud bangs at night, but no one called the police. Now, they had to find out who was the last person to see Remy alive. Remy's family and friends were shocked by her death. They came together to mourn. One person stood out, Adelin Itongwa, the father of her child. Adelin was acting like a grieving father. He went to the funeral. He hugged Remy's mother. He cried with the family. He told people he was heartbroken. But some people noticed strange things. He was too calm at times. Sometimes he acted sad, but other times he looked normal. He never asked the police for updates. Most family members wanted to know who killed Remy. Adelin never asked. He had no alibi. He did not have a clear answer about where he was at night. Police decided to talk to him. When police questioned Adelin, they asked simple questions. Where were you when Remy was shot? When was the last time you spoke to her? Did you notice anything strange before her death? Adelin said he had not seen Remy that night. He said he was at home sleeping. But there was a problem. He had no proof. His story also kept changing. First, he said he did not talk to Remy that night. Then, he said they had a small argument on the phone. Later, he said they had no problems at all. This made police suspicious. They decided to look deeper. Police needed proof before they could arrest Adelin. They started collecting evidence. Police checked Remy's phone records. They found she had spoken to Adelin just hours before she died. There were messages between them. The messages showed that they had an argument. Did Adelin get angry and come to Remy's house? Police checked the bullets that killed Remy. They wanted to know what kind of gun was used. They also checked for fingerprints in the house. They found Adelin's fingerprints, but that was normal since he was the father of Remy's child. But there was one problem. Some fingerprints were found in places where they shouldn't be. Neighbors were asked if they heard anything that night. Some said they heard loud noises. One neighbor said they saw a car parked near Remy's house late at night. Another person said they saw someone leaving the house quickly, but it was dark, and they could not see the person's face. Police now had enough reason to think Adelin was involved. Police needed solid proof before arresting Adelin. They checked security cameras in the area. One camera caught a car driving toward Remy's house at around 3 a.m. A few minutes later, the same car was seen leaving. The car looked like Adelin's. Police checked Adelin's phone records again. Right after the time of the murder, his phone was off. After some hours, he turned it back on. Did he turn it off to avoid tracking? Police now had enough evidence. They went to arrest Adelin. When they asked him about the footage in the phone records, he denied everything. He said, "I didn't do anything." But when they showed him the evidence, he started getting nervous. Police arrested him and charged him with the murder of Remy Griffin. When Ramiah Remy Griffin was taken away, her family and friends were left with sadness and pain. They could not believe what had happened. Her mother, sister, and loved ones had to say goodbye to someone they thought would be with them forever. Remy's mother was heartbroken. She had lost her daughter in the worst way. She said, "I will never see my baby smile again. I will never hear her laugh. She was my world." Remy's sister Mariah was also in deep pain. She could not believe that the man who was part of their family had hurt her sister. She said, "We trusted him. We welcomed him into our home. How could he do this?"
What happens behind closed doors really don't get spoke of much, but, there were some things that I've heard, and it, kind of raised an eyebrow. He was sounding normal, so in my head, I'm like, he doesn't know what happened. So I didn't want to be the one to tell him what happened. Looking back, it's like he knew what happened.
The family had to plan a funeral, something no mother should have to do for her child. They wanted to remember Remy as the loving person she was. At the funeral, people cried. They shared stories about how kind and caring Remy was. But something shocking happened. The person who had taken her life, Adelin Itongwa, was there too. He cried, hugged people, and acted like he was sad. But deep down, he knew the truth. Remy's death shocked the entire community. People in Baldwin Borough, Pennsylvania, came together to remember her. A candlelight vigil was held. People stood together, holding candles, and prayed for Remy. Some brought flowers. Others brought pictures of her, showing her happy and full of life. On social media, many people posted about her. They used hashtags like #JusticeForRemy. Friends shared videos of her smiling and laughing. Some wrote messages saying how much they missed her. Others were angry, saying that what happened to Remy should never happen to anyone else. A GoFundMe page was also created to help Remy's family, especially her baby daughter. Many people donated money, wanted to help in any way they could. The saddest part of this story is that Remy's daughter lost her mother. She was too young to understand what had happened. But one day she will ask, "Where's my mommy?" After Remy's death, her family stepped in to take care of her little girl. They did not want her to grow up without love. Her grandmother and aunts made sure she was safe. They promised to protect her and give her the best life they could. One day, Remy's daughter will learn the truth. She will know that her mother was taken away when she was just a baby. She will see pictures of her mother and hear stories about how kind and strong she was. The family will have to decide how to tell her the truth. They will want to protect her, but also help her understand. It will not be easy. Losing a parent is one of the hardest things a child can go through. To help her, the family might take her to therapy when she gets older. They will remind her that her mother loved her very much. They will do everything they can to make sure she grows up happy, even without her mother by her side. The courtroom was full of people. Everyone wanted to see justice for Ramiah Remy Griffin. Her family sat in the front row, holding hands. They had waited for this day for a long time. The man on trial was Adelin Itongwa, the father of Remy's baby. He was the one accused of killing her. The judge walked in and told everyone to sit. The trial was about to begin. The lawyers were ready. The jury, a group of people who would decide if Adelin was guilty or not, listened carefully. The trial had many questions. Why did Adelin do this? Did he plan it? Would he get away with it? The prosecutor was a lawyer trying to prove that Adelin killed Remy. He stood up and spoke to the jury. "This was not an accident," he said. "This was murder." The prosecutor explained what happened. Remy was shot 12 times in her own home. Her baby was left alone in the house. Adelin pretended to be sad, but he was the one who killed her. Then he showed the evidence. There were phone records, messages, and security camera footage. The police also found gunpowder on Adelin's hands. He killed her and then went to her funeral, the prosecutor said. He cried with her family, knowing he was the reason she was gone. The jury listened carefully. The evidence was strong, but they wanted to know, why did he do it? The prosecutor had to explain why Adelin would hurt Remy. He gave two possible reasons. Adelin was upset that Remy wanted to move on. He didn't want her to be with anyone else. He got angry and decided to hurt her. Remy and Adelin had arguments about their child. Did he think she would take the baby away? Was he afraid of losing control? The jury thought about these reasons. Did Adelin plan to kill Remy, or did he do it in a moment of anger? One of the most shocking parts of the case was how Adelin acted after the murder. He went to Remy's funeral. He hugged her mother and sister. He cried like he was heartbroken. He told people he missed her. But the police knew the truth. He was not a grieving father. He was hiding his crime. The prosecutor showed a video of Adelin at the funeral. The jury watched him pretend to be sad. Then, the prosecutor showed the evidence that proved he was the killer. This man is a liar, the prosecutor said. He acted like he loved Remy, but he took her life. The jury had to decide, was he guilty? Adelin's lawyer had a different story. He tried to prove that Adelin did not mean to kill Remy. The lawyer said Adelin and Remy had a fight. He claimed Adelin did not plan to kill her. He said it was a mistake, not murder. The lawyer tried to make the jury feel sorry for Adelin. He said Adelin was struggling with stress. He said maybe someone else was involved, but the evidence was too strong. The jury did not believe these excuses. After hearing all the evidence, the jury had to decide. They left the courtroom to talk in private. Hours passed. Everyone waited. Then, the jury returned. The courtroom was silent. The judge asked, "Have you reached a verdict?" The jury said, "Yes." The judge asked, "Is the defendant guilty or not guilty?" The jury said, "Guilty." The courtroom was filled with gasps. Remy's family held each other and cried. The judge looked at Adelin and said, "You are sentenced to life in prison." Remy's family was sad, but they were also relieved. They knew nothing would bring Remy back, but at least her killer would never hurt anyone again. Outside the courtroom, her sister spoke to reporters. "We got justice today," she said, "but we still lost Remy. No sentence can change that." The case was over. Adelin would spend the rest of his life in prison, but Remy's story would never be forgotten. Remy's story is not just about what happened to her. It is also a lesson for others. Many women are in relationships where they are not safe. Sometimes, the person they love is the one who hurts them the most. There are often warning signs before violence happens. Some of these signs include a partner who is very controlling, someone who gets angry easily, a partner who tries to keep them away from family and friends, threats or physical harm, even if they say it was an accident. If someone sees these signs in their relationship, they need to take them seriously. No one deserves to be treated badly. If a woman feels unsafe in a relationship, she should not be afraid to ask for help. There are hotlines, shelters, and people who can help her get away from danger. Some women stay because they are afraid or because they love the person, but love should never hurt. If a partner is violent once, they will likely do it again. It is important to leave before things get worse. Remy may not have had a chance to escape, but others can learn from her story. They can choose to walk away before it is too late. After what happened to Remy, people started talking more about domestic violence. Many people shared information on how to help someone in danger. Schools, workplaces, and communities started having discussions about staying safe in relationships. Some people also called for stronger laws to protect women. They want to make sure that people who hurt their partners face serious consequences. By telling Remy's story, people hope that no other woman has to go through what she did. They want to make sure that her death was not in vain. Ramiah Remy Griffin was a young mother with a bright future. She had dreams, she had love, and she had hope, but all of that was taken away in an act of betrayal. Her story is a reminder that sometimes danger comes from the people closest to us. It is a lesson to always be aware, to listen to warning signs, and to seek help when needed. But most of all, it is a reminder that Remy's life mattered. She was more than just a victim. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a mother, and she will never be forgotten. If you found this story as gripping and heartbreaking as we did, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. And if you want to hear more true crime stories that uncover the mysteries behind these tragic events, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest stories, updates, and discussions. Thank you for joining us on this journey to seek justice and explore the truth. Together, we can make a difference. Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.